Angie, welcome to Bite Size Pictures. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. Now let's talk about some of the work that you have created. Your work spans across numerous genres and mediums as well.
Yep.
And you've gained the attention of some international creatives as well, including Susan Sarandon, which is really exciting. With your career so far, what is one of your highlights which you would like to share with us?
That's like saying, can you choose which of your children is your favourite? Because every film has a highlight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, then kind of like maybe memorable moments that we should kind of draw from for future work.
I think getting into film school initially was pretty amazing. You know, I'd heard about Swinburne Film and Television, you know, which was this institution, you know, going way back. But it was Australia's, you know, first film school. It was highly prestigious. People didn't make films in the way they do now. And it was just like, oh, I'll never get in there. They only choose 16 from around Australia a year. You know, it's going to be really difficult. And I had, I'd finished school and sort of did a deal with my parents going, you know, I want to be an actor. You know, who doesn't? Who doesn't want to be an actor? And so they were like, oh no. and they did me a deal. They said, look, you know, get into a university, defer, and then, you know, just try this acting thing and see how it goes. I went to one audition and I went, that was hideous. I absolutely hated it. And I went, I don't want to be an actor. That's not for me. Yeah. But I thought, look, I need a bit more training before I try and get into NIDA or something like that. So I went to Box Hill TAFE for a year and they had a foundation studies course. And I fell into doing media because I had to choose another elective. And one of the first assessments was everyone writes a script and then we choose the scripts that we want to make on the group shoot. We all go away to some camp somewhere, and I was going, oh my God, this is going to be hell. So of course, you know, finished school, was living life, having a great time, wrote it overnight, put it in. Lo and behold, they chose my script, which was ridiculous. It was about, you know, a film shoot, you know, a horror genre. But I met some amazing people there, and I have to say, you know, it was the lecturer who encouraged me to then make another film, and on the basis of that he said you should try and get into Swinburne. And I think when they rang and told me that I'd got past the, you know, interview process and the really, you know, hard slog of getting in there.
In looking at your work has just these beautiful messages that people can relate to on so many levels. And so is it about the overall message which kind of got you into creating? Or what was it about this side of filmmaking which kind of got that kind of fire burning?
I had always gone into filmmaking as a novice. You know, there was people at film school that knew every film director that have made everything. And I was just like, wow, I know nothing here. And in some ways, I just had the fire in the belly. I had the fire to tell my stories.
Wow.
And the era when I went through film school, which was, you know, late 80s, early 90s, so that's how old I am. There weren't a lot of films that spoke to me, and I thought, well, I want to make films that I want to go see. And you know, there were indie arts films that you had to, you know, go to cinemas to see. You couldn't just Google them and find them. And so, you know, and I was really driven to make films that I thought, you know, I could have a laugh and had characters that I believed in, and still would tell a great story, but it would say something to people that would resonate, that they'd go, oh yeah, I get that. So, you know, I wasn't trying to speak to the masses. I was trying to speak to, you know, the three people that were sitting in the back row going, huh?
But then also speaking from your heart as well, because you're writing these stories which you can resonate with. And then there's so many layers to them that everyone else can as well, which is beautiful. And speaking of this kind of resonating films, Bowl Me Over, you had was a part of the Independent Filmmakers Fund, which was in Victoria here, which is an amazing accomplishment. So congrats for that.
Thank you. Yes, it was like winning the lottery. That was a highlight too. We kind of didn't believe it when we won. They only choose, that was Film Victoria used to fund short films and fund them well. And they only choose 2 a year, so it's always pretty amazing. What
an accomplishment. We're seeing as I feel like such a novice being at university going, I don't know these directors who you're speaking about, and now suddenly, oh, I'm going to be like this like recipient. It's fantastic. So with that, what's the journey been like when it comes to creating works which either have funding and have that support, or in the times when it's been all you and just going, wow, how can I get my work out there?
Well, I think, you know, times have changed so much.
Yeah.
There was a period where, before Bowl Me Over, where I'd been working in film. So I worked in London and was always trying to get films up because you couldn't actually just do it yourself. You know, it was just too expensive and it was really hard to get anything made. You know, and you were cutting on 16mm film and, you know, it was who had a Steenbeck in their lounge room and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, getting funding for a short film, we got a lot of money to make that film, really. In hindsight, I look at it and I go, wow, that's a lot of money for 15 minutes. But we needed it, you know, in order to pay people well, and, you know, and we weren't paying above award rates, but we were paying award rates. We actually needed the finance. So once Bowl Me Over got made, and you know, it was a good little film. People, I guess, were surprised that I was a female director who had done a comedy, because it wasn't common, and especially in this country. At that time. It's a lot more common now. And from that, I guess people realised, oh,
you know what you're doing.
I do remember a couple of producers, you know, sort of, I met them in the hallways of post-production houses, and they're like, oh, you're that chick that directs comedy.
Yes, I am.
I actually laughed at your film. I was like, yeah, that was the intention, you know. It's like, so
comedy.
It was kind of surprising to them, which I had never, you know, I had never thought I was doing anything groundbreaking. I was just like, I love a laugh. You know, I think, you know, when we came up with that idea, we were like, wouldn't that be great? That cultural, you know,
paradigm.
Where people just, it's just, people are mistaken, and it's just, you know, they're just in the wrong time, and we're going, you know, a Greek widow would just see that beautiful grass and go, of course you walk on that, you know. Why would you roll balls on it? And, you know, like, that doesn't make sense. So.
It was a beautiful film. I really enjoyed it when I watched it myself. So with that, you had the success from that one, and you had the funding there. Has there been times when you haven't had that funding behind you to try and get your work going?
Going from Bowl Me Over, where we actually had the weight of a funding body behind us, which means we could get great cast like Noel Wayne Brown and Monica Morn, Terry Norris, you know, people that were really well known, would go, okay, this film's going to go places because it's got funding support behind it. It's much harder when you're an independent and you go to people and go, I know what I'm doing, you know, I've made films before, trust me. They're not as likely to trust you because there's no one backing it. There's no one saying, yeah, we believe in these people, we know they'll get it there, and we've got the money and the power to actually get it out there. So that's always tricky. You know, it's the fire in the belly. You just go, I want to make another film, and this is a great project, and if these people come on board, it's going to be fabulous. And I love collaborating. I mean, that's what filmmaking is about. It's about going, well, you're a great actor, I want to work with you. You know, what can we do? What plays to our strengths? What can we say? You know? And with Birthday Girl, a friend of mine was a writer. He's a writer, and he's a great writer. And I was like, we should just make a film. Let's just go and make a film. Come on, let's stop talking about it. We sit in bars and cafes and go, why aren't we making films? Because we're not sitting down writing it. And he'd never written a screenplay before, and you know, he was going through a bit of a rough time in his life, and I said, just write about it. Just write and give me something. And so, you know, that was just really quick turnaround. We just were like, let's just make it. We could pull the script apart. We could, you know, think about it forever, but we could just go and
do it. Absolutely. It's been amazing speaking with you. My goodness. Thank you for being on the show here tonight.
Thank you.
When it comes to finding out more about Angie Black, please by all means head to our website, www.bitesizepictures.com. But otherwise, Angie, thank you so much for your time tonight. It's been wonderful.